And welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to Thargoid Thursdays. I decided to go up a little bit early this morning to get things started because I do have a lot of afternoon Thanksgiving plans I need to get to later today, but it is still Thargoid Thursday, so I am not going to pass up the opportunity to continue delivering the Eagle Eye updates because it's my favorite thing to do in this game. But anywho, we are about 10 seconds away from hearing Eagle Eye 1's first message of the day, so let me be quiet for a minute and let you enjoy the message.
Niner, 1, 4, 2, 2, 1, 4. Niner, Papa, Delta, Victor, Tango, Oscar, Delta, India, Juliet, Kilo, Hotel, Kilo, Golf, Kilo, Tango, Papa, Bravo, Romeo, Juliet, India, Golf, Alpha, Delta, Quebec, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Delta, Alpha, Hotel, Delta, Golf, 2, 2, Papa, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Kilo, Oscar, Zulu, Tango, Lima, Victor, 5, 1, 4, India, Bravo, Juliet, Uniform, Delta, Papa, Quebec, Bravo, Romeo, India, Quebec, Delta, Tango, Oscar, Romeo, Delta, Juliet, Quebec, Niner.
And ladies and gentlemen, that is your first Eagle Eye message. I apologize I had to disrupt it for a split second because I realized the music was a bit too loud and the transmitter can be a little argumentative sometimes in terms of volume output. So I will repeat the message, or I should say, oh, excuse me, my HOTAS is going a little nuts. I will go silent again for Eagle Eye 2's message, so that way you guys don't have to, that way you guys can hear the whole beginning part again, because the beginning part's the same every time. Oops.
Ready to engage. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so that scrambled message, I'm going to translate that message in a couple of minutes once we get to Eagle Eye 2, but basically that scrambled message is going to tell us where we need to go next after we get all of our Eagle Eye signals. We need to pick up 3, with 3 others being duplicates of the ones we're getting now. So there are 6 Eagle Eye stations sprinkled all about the Pleiades. I'll explain where they are once we're making our way to Eagle Eye 3. But they basically chirp out messages every once in a while that indicate special signals to where the Thargoids are going, or to what Thargoid structures are interesting. And those unique signals will then give us the ability to find out what the Thargoids are up to this week. And this is Eagle Eye 2 right here at HR 1185, planet A5. So Eagle Eye 2 will begin its message 10 minutes after the top of the hour. Currently, we're 4 minutes after, so we got a little bit of time. Eagle Eye 1 starts at the top of the hour, and every subsequent satellite goes 10 minutes later. And hello, Nemix. Welcome to the stream. Gonna go around the ring here. It's behind the ring, it's not in front of it. There we go. All quiet on the Eagle Eye 2 front. Oh no, there's some transport vessels up there. So, I don't think we have to worry about anything. Yeah, all transports. Nice and peaceful at Eagle Eye 2. And what I've just done here is I have basically gone into stealth. I'm using all of my, I'm using a high-end wake scanner to overclock my power plant in a way that disables everything using priorities except the life support and the sensors, so that way I can still target the transmitter and make sure my oxygen doesn't blow out. So, this also keeps my heat nice and low so that in case the cops ever show up and try to scan me, they can't because my ship is too cold. Now, in the meantime, let me load up my desktop and explain how to decode the Eagle Eye signals. Alright, so desktop is loaded right now. Alright, so this is basically how it goes. The Eagle Eye transmitter begins with a series of numbers, and those numbers correspond to letters in the English alphabet. In this case, the number code spells out the word invaders. So what you then do is you spell out first the letters in invaders, followed by the remaining letters in the alphabet. And the way to decipher the codes is you have to match the letters you hear with the orders of the actual order of letters of the English alphabet. So it's a substitution cipher, if you will. And good morning, Dr. Terminus. Welcome to the stream. How are we doing on time? We got about 2.5 minutes. So this is the scrambled message we got. This, the first 4 words here read secure anomalous signal detected. The last 2 words read investigate urgent. Those are the same every time. This is a system name and a planetary designation. So we're going to go ahead and start searching, or start decoding. So we start with Hotel Delta Golf. So that is M, D, E, and L. So that is Mel 22. This word translates to sector. I'm actually going to keep that lowercase because it makes maintenance later a little easier. ZT, so Z is kept the same. T becomes a U. L becomes a P. V is a C5. Numbers are not changed, by the way. C514A. So this is Mel 22 sector ZU-P C5-1. So that is our system designation. Let's look that up real quick. How much time do we have? 80 seconds? Okay, plenty of time. And if you're wondering why I'm randomly yawing to the right, my HOTUS is basically busted at this point. I'm going to try and get it replaced next week. But yeah, there's our system. It is all the way down there, and apparently I've been there before. But not to any of the actual planets. I've only seen the stars, for whatever reason, so I've actually not hogged the system properly. Interesting. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to let you guys hear Eagle Eye 2's message undisturbed this time. So that way you guys can hear a full message without having to be interrupted by the music or me having to adjust the settings. Once we are done getting that message, I will head to Eagle Eye 3 and start making my way to hear that message. We'll translate Eagle Eye 2's message when we get to Eagle Eye 3. But in the meantime, enjoy Eagle Eye 3's message in about Eagle Eye 2's message, rather, in about 12 seconds.
Niner. 1, 4, 2, 2, 1, 4, 5, 1, 8, 1, Niner. Papa, Delta, Victor, Tango, Oscar, Delta. India, Juliet, Kilo, Hotel, Kilo, Golf, Kilo, Tango, Papa. Papa, Bravo, Romeo, Juliet, India, Golf, Alpha, Delta, Quebec, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Delta, Alpha, Lima, Golf, Delta, Bravo, India, Alpha, Delta, Papa, Papa, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Kilo, Oscar, India, Uniform, Yankee, Victor, 7, 1, November, Bravo, Juliet, Uniform, Delta, Papa, Quebec, Bravo, Romeo, India, Quebec, Delta.
Alrighty, that was Eagle Eye 2's message. I'm skipping those last two words because, again, they're always the same. That gave me a very interesting set of letters that I'm not used to seeing. Normally, the stations always point me to the Mel 22 region or one of the HIP bases, but this one may be pointing me somewhere different this time. And we'll get to translating that in just a moment. Namex, to answer your question about the power plant overclocking, the reason why I prefer that over silent running is because in silent running, for whatever reason, an Authority vessel will close the gap to 300 meters to scan you. If you do not enter silent running, they will remain at 1,000 meters. In which case, overclocking the power plant reduces the heat value so much that a cop will not be able to scan you from 1 kilometer away. So that is why I overclock the power plant to only have my sensors and life support running during those times. Now we have a bit of a trek in front of us, so let's reopen up our Word document here and translate the next message. So the system we got here is this one over here. So let's decode this one. This one looks like it's quite a mouthful. Let's see, we start with L, so that is a P. G is an L. Okay, so this is, D is E. So this is the, this is the Pleiades sector. IU, so that is A, V, dash, Y, C7. And that is 1B. Interestingly, there seems to be, Interestingly, there doesn't seem to be a secondary number designation. Let's look that up real quick. AV-YC7. Okay, that system does exist. Good. And the reason Oh yes, for piracy reasons, yeah. But the reason I'm doing that is because I am actually carrying Thargoid items in my cargo right now, most notably Thargoid probes and sensors, and an escape pod, which I probably should turn into a station next chance I get. But yeah, the idea is that I need the probe and the sensor and the links eventually. So it makes sense that I go pick them up now, or that I have them in my inventory now, so I can speed up the process a little bit later for when we get to the second phase of the operation. And that second phase is decoding, getting to the Thargoid structures and getting their special signals. Oops. Unfortunately, folks, the HOTUS problem is going to have to persist for the rest of the week. I'm hoping, like I said, I hope to get it fixed by, I hope to get it fixed before too long. But yeah, unfortunately, I have to live with this annoyance of auto-yawing to the right. I'm going to use the same overclock mechanic to keep my ship steady when I'm getting to Phase 3 and I'm listening to the Thargoid Link. So what I'm going to do for this particular set of signals is I am going to... what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys what I'm typing. Oh, hold on a moment. You'll notice that a pirate has dropped out behind me, even though, for the record, it did not declare itself in Super Cruise. So we are going to take the appropriate strategy, and we are going to hide. Now, I've already been shot at, so the cops are on their... Well, the cops are actually already here. I just noticed. The system is swarming with cops, so he doesn't even get the chance.
Target destroyed.
Okay, problem solved. And once again, let's park ourselves in front of the transmitter. Get right up in front of it. Make sure the cops aren't too close by, and go into stealth.
Offline. Power plant capacity exceeded.
Dr. Terminus, it is a very old SciTech X-52. And just about a couple of months ago, it started really beginning to show its age, unfortunately. So, I'm going to just simply have it replaced, hopefully next week. Assuming Cyber Monday deals extend beyond Monday. Would be really nice if they did. Don't think that's going to happen. I'm off from work, though, so I may do some online shopping. Who knows? Excuse me. In the meantime, actually, I need to switch scenes for a split second here and do a little bit of maintenance. Okay. So, what I have here... I'm going to show this off real quick. What I have now here is I have a list provided by the Canon Research Group of all of the known Thargoid structures that have been found. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search up the two locations, the two systems that we have decoded so far, and you can see that we have in fact already there is already a known structure in Mel 22 sector ZU-PC5-1, planet 4A. And it's already got the coordinates. So this is Thargoid Structure 6 that we're heading to. The other, in Pleiades Sector AV-YC7, is the one Thargoid Structure 99. Which, and it's at 1B. Very convenient. 60 pounds off. That's pretty good, Namex. And that is Thargoid Structure 99. Interesting thing to note about last week. Last week, 3 of the Thargoid signals, link signals, pointed to other Thargoid structures. One pointed to this one, Ares Dark Region DBX D1-64. One pointed to HIP 20644. The other I can't remember which was right off the top of my head, unfortunately. But my initial suspicion was that these were going to be the Thargoid structures that were going to be picked for this week's decoding, since they were pre-pointed by Thargoid signals last week. Not the case. We got 30 seconds. Mine's not a pro either. It's an ancient model. My brother had this when he picked up the old Microsoft Flight Simulator. This was like back in 2000 and... Good lord, this is like when I was in middle school. This is like 2010 or something like that. It's a miracle it's lived as long as it has. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to actively show you guys the text as it's coming through Eagle Eye. So, Eagle Eye 3 is just about to start talking now. And so we're going to listen to for the message, and I'm going to show you guys what you're listening for. I just realized I still have Discord up. I'll fix that later.
1, 4, 2, 2,
I'll open up the canon page.
1, 4, 5, 1, 8, 1, 9er.
So that's the numbers code that gives you the initial letters.
Papa, Delta, Victor, Tango, Oscar, Delta, India, Juliet, Kilo, Hotel, Kilo, Golf, Kilo, Tango, Papa, Papa, Bravo, Romeo, Juliet, India, Golf, Alpha, Delta, Quebec, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Delta, Alpha,
And now our system name.
Lima, Golf, Delta, Bravo, India, Alpha, Delta.
Okay, so this is going to be the Pleiades sector again,
Papa,
because it's the same numbers as Eagle Eye 2.
Quebec, Kilo,
Question is, which system?
November, Romeo, X-ray, Victor, 1, 1, 0, 1, 4, India,
Okay,
Bravo, Juliet,
interesting.
Uniform,
We'll decode that on our way to Eagle Eye 4. Now, I'm heading to Eagle Eye 4 now because Eagle Eye 4, typically Eagle Eye 4 is a duplicate of Eagle Eye 1, and I just want to verify that real quick. Once I do, I will actually go onto the Canon Discord and let them know what the signals are pointing to this week, because it doesn't look like they have it posted anywhere on their Discord, so I'm going to go ahead and let them know if they haven't already figured it out. So let me load up the Canon Discord real quick.
4, 3, 2,
And it doesn't look like it's the case, so I'm going to go ahead and let them know... I'm going to go ahead and start letting them know where... I'm going to go ahead and let them know where it is. True, Namex, but the Thargoid channel, to my knowledge, is still completely empty, so I might end up being first reporting on this one for a change. Now, let me, in the meantime, load up the desktop so we can translate this other message. So this one is taking us to Pleiades sector NRX. So that is BG-X. BG-X. V is a C. C1-10. Planet 14A. Let's verify that that site is known on the Canon site. In fact, it is. Planet 14A. This is Thargoid Structure 142 that we're headed to now. So good. All of the sites are known. so we shouldn't have any trouble finding them. I don't think I've been to this Thargoid structure yet either. I haven't been to any of the Thargoid structures we've been pointed to in this particular update. Kind of shocking considering how many times I've been doing Eagle Eye as of late. I think I started doing Eagle Eye in, I want to say, it was in the spring sometime. I can't remember exactly when I started. But ever since I saw Malik doing this, like, back in the spring, I was like, wait a minute. This actually sounds like a lot of fun. I can totally do this. So, I decided, you know what? I'll give this a shot myself, see how it goes, and what do you know, it ends up being my favorite thing to do in Elite on a Thursday. Alright, so I'm coming up on Eagle Eye 4 now. And like I said, this is likely a duplicate of Eagle Eye 1. I'm very curious to know how Eagle Eye will play into the new Thargoid incursion states, if Eagle Eye will be responsible for letting us know ahead of time which systems will become Thargoid incursion zones. But we shall see. All quiet on the Eagle Eye 4 front this morning. Nope. Now the place is starting to come to life, but it looks like it's all transport vessels once again. So again, nothing to worry about. We're just going to go straight to the transmitter. Once the 3.3 Chapter 4 update does drop, I will not be doing this in the Diamondback anymore. I will be using a Crate Phantom, which will have a similar jump range, but will actually be capable of defending itself against pirates. So I am very excited for that. And it's going to run under the same setup where I intentionally overclock the ship to make sure that I intentionally overclock the ship so that way I know exactly, that way I don't get scammed by the cops. Alright, I'm just, oops. Just entering that there. Do this here. Oh, wait a minute. I did something out of order here. Just a second. Alright, how we doing? One more minute? Okay. And hello, Imacubus. Welcome to the stream. Not yet, Imacubus. We're just verifying Eagle Eye 4's duplicate message to Eagle Eye 1. I've got 2 signals in the Pleiades, 2 Thargoid structures in the Pleiades and 1 in the Mel 22 sector. We'll be going for the one in Pleiades sector BGX C1-10 first, because that is Eagle Eye 3. Not too far, it's only 3 jumps. So we're listening for the system name that has Hotel Delta, Mel 22 sector. The main system digits need to be Zulu Tango followed by Lima and a Victor 5. Once we get beyond that point, I'll know for a fact it's a duplicate.
1-9er. Papa Delta Victor Tango.
In the meantime, I'm gonna pour a drink.
India, Juliet, Kilo, Hotel, Kilo, Golf.
Nothing like using soda as a morning coffee.
Papa, Bravo, Romeo, Juliet, India, Golf, Alpha, Delta, Quebec, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Delta, Alpha.
Alright, let's listen for that system name.
Hotel, Delta, Golf.
Alright, it is Mel 22, so that sounds promising.
2. Papa, Delta, Victor, Quebec, Kilo, Oscar. Zulu, Tango, Lima,
Yeah, it's a dupe.
Victor, 5.
Alright, we're done here. Let's make our way to the first Thargoid structure. And at this point, we can actually adjust our stealth setup to only shut off the thrusters on top of our normal stuff when we deploy. Nope, that stays on.
Frameshift drive charging.
There we go. Now we should only lose thrusters when we shut off our systems. Well, thrusters and the non-essential things like fuel scoop, cargo hatch, and SRV. You don't need those when deployed and scanning wakes. So, let's be honest.
4, 3, 2,
Right then. So, the Thargoid, the Eagle Eye satellites pointed us all to Thargoid structures. So now we need to go to those Thargoid structures and acquire some special signals. Conveniently, I already have the items that I need to conduct this phase of the operation. So we're now in phase 2. At this point, I can actually boost music. Because we're not doing anything at the moment.
fuel scoop disengaged.
There we go.
Frameshift drive charging.
Now, I have not been to this system yet, so I'm going to go ahead and load the coordinates of Thargoid Structure 143, or 142 rather, excuse me,
3, 2,
and lock them into the chat panel so that you guys can see what I'm looking for. I gotta wait until the channel switches to local, otherwise it won't transmit. Like so. So, let's haunt the system, and we are looking for planet 14 something or other. I already lost track. So 14, good lord, that's a lot of planets. Ooh. Waterworld, I think.
fuel scoop disengaged.
I could barely hear it, but yeah, that's a Waterworld. But I don't have a DSS installed, so that's not important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 14A. So we want to go here. Now, eventually, I won't need to look up the coordinates on Canon. I'll just use a probe, the probes to map these out, to find the Thargoid structure that way. That'll be much less of a pain than, that'll be much less of a pain. Actually, I got an idea. There we go. If we're on long trips, I'm just going to unplug the right stick of my HOTAS so that way I'm not doing anything. Improvisations, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using only in-game music and stuff, the reason being is, which I failed to do last week, which I apologize for, I am going to try and highlight this this decoding session. I'm going to try and put it on YouTube. Because I notice this stuff isn't really on YouTube too often, so I figure, you know what, I'll show this off for YouTube as well, just in case other folks want to see what the story is this week. We are going to do a double gravitic break using this moon and the gas giant. Without actually crashing into the gas giant, mind you. There we go. I mean, for me, Namix, it's not really that big a deal. I could find stuff via coordinates, no problem. In fact, I need to flash those on screen real quick. I also need to get my power play merits. I actually did not get to do power play upkeep this week, so I am actually behind. Oh, that was the right latitude. Hold on. Alright, so the latitude is right. The longitude I need to flip around. So I need to flip back and go fly at the 270 marker for a while. 52 by minus 151. .52 by minus 151. Which we're coming up on right now, so I need to actually be ready to stop and turn the ship around. So, oh wait, minus 151, so it should be right on top of us. Slightly to the north, actually. Wrong direction. Oh, I've blacked out. I'm going the wrong way. Should be showing up any second now. There it is. It is right here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thargoid Structure of Pleiades Sector BG-X C1-10, Planet 14A, otherwise known as Thargoid Structure 142. Not the smoothest landing ever, but it'll do. So, our next order of business is to pick up some of our things, most namely the Thargoid sensor and Thargoid probe. I only have one probe, so I gotta be sure not to lose it. And we're gonna head on in. Now, I also want to make sure I can find a Thargoid uplink node, so that way I can... secondary door, so this is a Class 3 structure. I want to see if I can find a node, so that way I can record this location in the nav panel, for if/when I do ever want to come back here. Like so. And this item wants the Thargoid probe, so we shall oblige and give it what it wants. So, the order in which these items need to be deposited is always the same if you go clockwise. It is Thargoid Probe, Thargoid Sensor, and Thargoid Link. So now we actually have to go get said Thargoid Link. I'm actually going to get one from inside the structure and take it back with the Thargoid probe with me to the ship. What this will do is this will save me a back and forth trip from the ship to the central structure after I pick up the signals. So we'll just nick a Thargoid Link real quick. Now, if you're wondering why this part of the cave feels so illuminated, it's because the Diamondback's lights are shining onto it for whatever reason, and the lights, for whatever reason, are capable of penetrating Thargoid Structure biomatter. Why? I got no idea. Also, yeah, scavengers are pretty docile unless you shoot at them. Known for messing up your trajectory, though. So, with all 3 items delivered, this central doohickey lights up. We give it a bit of a buzz with our data link scanner. And cue the light show. Now, I'm going to get rid of these. And actually, I forgot to get rid of last week's undiscovered logs, so I'm going to go ahead and actually get rid of them. I'm being very careful to not accidentally get rid of the logs that I just picked up, these 2 in particular. I do want to hold on to that Decoding the Ancient Ruins bit as well. Excuse me. I need to pick stuff up. So I am now going to pick up the Thargoid Link and the Thargoid Probe. I'm actually not going to be taking the Thargoid sensor back to the ship with me. The reason for that is because I have enough Thargoid sensors to where I can skip that step and not have to do two runs back. Bit of information about this light show. We think that this has something to do with like a Thargoid star map, but we basically have no clue what it actually is. Like, we haven't been able to superimpose it and match it to any known features of the galaxy yet. At least not as far as I'm aware. This goes on for about 2 minutes, but for the moment, we're going to go ahead and return to the ship. And you'll notice we got 2 signals in our discovered logs, which is what we want. That is an indication that we went to one of the correct Thargoid structures. And we are going to head to our next destination, which is, if I could find it, Pleiades Sector AV-Y C7 rather, Planet 1B, which is Thargoid Structure 99. So let's plot course to Thargoid Structure 99, which is not too far away, actually. It's only 2 jumps. Unfortunately, it's on the other side of the planet, so we do have to jump to Super Cruise for this. Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1,
Oh yeah, but yeah, Nemix, I understand how planetary GPS tracking can be such a pain, so I'm right there with you on that. The probe system is going to make life 10 million times easier. They should always use 42. Well, it is the answer to life, the universe, and everything. But unfortunately, Thargoid Structure 42 is not on our to-visit list today.
Frameshift drive charging.
For the record, whichever one, Thargoid Structure 42 is the one on HIP 16440, Planet 1E. I'm going to base 142.
3, 2, 1.
Now, the designations, this isn't necessarily the exact number in which the Thargoid bases were created. This is the order in which they were discovered and verified by Canon. Which, I gotta give massive props to the folks at Canon for keeping this list. for keeping the list I showed off earlier, because it makes finding these structures much easier. There was one case where a Thargoid structure was actually discovered via the Eagle Eye system that was not previously known. That, I believe, was Thargoid Structure... if I can find it. That was Thargoid Structure... let me see... that was the Thargoid Structure 228 at Sinwef HZ-M D8-69. That was an active base, but at the time it was discovered, it was during an Eagle Eye translation, so any bases that were previously, could have been previously triangulated from the, that structure were not available. And I believe 1B was our destination? Yes. Excuse me?
Fuel scoop.
Thank you. It's like I'm clicking the button. Why do you not lock destination? I think there was only one Namex. I don't see any others with check marks on them that don't have 3 messages with other Thargoid structures on the canon list. Now, there is actually technically a Thargoid structure 229, and it's the one that's on Autat's STI D96 Planet 2A. That site had a bit of a rigmarole attached to it. That site was, I believe, hand-placed on the day the Gnosis, when the Gnosis was attacked on September 6th. Then there was a brief moment where it was, for whatever reason, removed from the game, but semi-recently it's been put back. So it's actually not on the list, but it is there. It does not give 3 signals in beta. Bummer. Alright, let's go ahead and mark this planet. I should probably put in the planetary coordinates while I'm at it, too. Thargoid Structure 99. Which is... that one. So -9 by -95.5. No, Comprodigy, all of the Eagle Eye stuff did not, was in perfect English today, for a change. Yeah, for those who are curious, in previous Eagle Eye weeks, most notably like 3 weeks ago, all of the Eagle Eye messages were, not all, but most of the Eagle Eye messages had typos in them. It was really stupid. -9 by 95. So we're very close on the latitude front. But we're completely in the wrong direction on the longitude front. So -9 by -95. Oops. Alright, getting a little close to 95. 70, 80... 90, 1, 2, 3. Should be able to see it now. There it is. Oops, I blacked out. There we go. Yeah, fun fact, boosting in glide does increase your turn rate. Yes, they do, Imacubus. The caustic cloud makes life a little bit easier when it comes to finding these things. want sensor and probe.
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
I actually had very little trouble getting the Thargoid probe this time around. I think it was actually the first thing that I found in a Threat 7 signal source. It was a probe by itself, and no interceptor. Very convenient, actually. Alright, the doors have opened. And this is another Class 3 base because of the secondary doors. This one's the sensor, which means the one on my right side from this one wants the Thargoid probe. I was going to say Thargoid Link for a second, but that is not correct. Excuse me for a moment. Just need to verify I didn't screw anything up on something. Okay. Alright, now we're going to go grab a Thargoid Link. Excuse me? There we go. The range for these can be picky sometimes. Oh, uplink node. Let me grab that real quick. Again, this just marks the thing on my navigation panel, so that way if I ever do come back to the Thargoid structure, it's now a targetable structure. And I'll be able to come back to this place without having to do any planetary coordinate work. Just jumping over those egg sacs so that way they don't launch me. And luckily our last receptacle is right here. Let's go ahead and pick the device. I think scanning the device also marks the location in your nav panel. Yeah, it does, Imacubus. Thank you for reminding me. As the link suddenly flies to the left. Jeez. Let's see. Get rid of that, and we have 2 new messages. It was just trying to join the Thargoid probe, I guess. Speaking of Thargoid probe, I'm gonna snag that real quick. Yoink!
Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
And let's get back to the ship. And that's why you don't run over those. It was lonely and needed a friend, yeah. Let me out. Now, it hasn't happened yet. I've only been able to show this off on stream once, but there is a rare occasion where a Thargoid interceptor may pop out after you've finished, if you've utilized the device and gotten the star map. If you do that, there is a chance that a Thargoid interceptor may pop down and scan you and then just leave, regardless of whether you're carrying Thargoid cargo or not.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, last stop is Mel 22 Sector ZU-PC5-1, and that is Thargoid Structure 6. Now this one's a bit of a trek, unfortunately. We're already going fast enough to just reach the mass lock line. It's faster if we just go. There we are.
Frameshift drive charging.
I think honestly it's mostly RNG, Imacubus, because I did nothing differently in the picking up the signal when I got the event to trigger on camera. So it is, as far as I'm concerned, it's RNG. Interestingly, I haven't been hyperdicted the last couple of weeks. I was starting a weird trend where for every week in October, or at least 3 out of 4 weeks in October, I got hyperdicted during Thargoid Thursdays. But it hasn't happened yet today. It hasn't happened the last couple of weeks. It might also be locked to 1 encounter ever per commander, which I don't think that's the case, but I've only seen it once.
3, 2, 1.
Now, there is an obvious visual tell for when I get hyperdicted, but it hasn't happened yet, so I'll let you know what it is when it happens. Actually, I'll let you know what it is now. Basically, if you notice the stars suddenly fading out much more than usual as you're jumping into hyperspace, that is a hyperdiction trigger that you've just passed through, and you're going to get hyperdicted in a couple seconds. It's probably tied to where you park your ship based on what the time is. So what, if your ship acts like a certain sundial, then you're basically, you're good to get the event?
2, 1.
I can't wait to be doing this in the Crate Phantom, by the way.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, Mel 22 Sector ZU-PC5-1. Where is the Thargoid structure there? Planet 4A coordinates are logged. And thank God this DBX is running a low emissions 5 power plant. Thargoid parking enforcement. Yeah, much like the parking enforcement, though I bet it's not like the parking enforcement in my place. At my place, they're relentless. Not that I've fallen victim to it, but they can be relentless sometimes. I live like 1 block away from a really busy, okay, suddenly massive number of astronomical objects. 4A is our target, so we want to go here. Bit of a trek. Excuse me. It's a bit of a trek on this one.
Disengaged.
And let's lock in the coordinates. I think that's right. Oh, nope, that is 1 digit off. There we go. That's our coordinates. Minus 63.5 by 8. Yes, that's true, Imacubus. Yeah, Malik would be the one to know more about that one. I do not play in VR because I don't think my computer can handle it. Because, yeah, if you have camera shake turned on, you shake pretty violently during a hyperdiction. I have it turned off, just for the sake of making it, making target markers a little easier to see. Especially in combat, it's actually a little disorienting for me. I did test out the Thargoid incursions yesterday, and they were actually quite a lot of fun, but they were hard. I mean, what do you expect? It's a Thargoid conflict zone. Stuff is supposed to be constantly popping in. It starts out with a scout battle, and then they throw in interceptors later down the road, and more than one, I should point out. And it seems like which interceptor pops out is completely random, too. I've gotten cases where I've had a Basilisk and a Cyclops, 2 Cyclops, 1 Cyclops, 2 Medusas. It's pretty much RNG. So, hope to God you don't get 2 Medusas. Especially when you're flying solo. I think I managed to take out 3 interceptors in one bout before my Anaconda had to go back to repair. Nemix, there's actually a really easy way to get tissue samples without risking danger, and that is by utilizing the silent running method. As it turns out, if you're in silent running, a Thargoid interceptor won't be bothered by the limpet. Just make sure you stay in silent running. Oh, I have been to this Thargoid structure before. Interesting. Okay, I guess we don't need the planetary coordinates. I already have it. That's weird. Why didn't the system data show this planet before? You know what? I might have been to this Thargoid structure, but I bet I blew up sometime before I turned in the cartographic data. So that's probably why I don't have it. Or why I didn't have the system data, but I had the base data. So good. We don't even need to do any planetary coordinate tracking. We're already here. Using NPCs as bait works too, in fairness. Usually, if I were to get a tissue sample under fire, I would remote flak the swarm first, then go ahead and tag the interceptor. Because the interceptor itself is not the worst thing that can kill you. It's easily the swarm. Because not only do the swarm have the rapid-fire pulse cannons, but they also have the kamikaze missiles. You know what? Let's test Prodigy's theory a minute. Let's actually park a little further away from the door.
Low gravity warning. Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
I think I'm gonna be fine. If it's a ticket, it's just a fine, and those can be paid off easily. If it were a bounty, then that'd be a different story, but it's not. Whoops, I just passed the entryway. And this is another Class 3 structure. Excuse me. What do you seek? You seek the Thargoid sensor. Gladly. For a minute, I thought it didn't take. Give you the probe. And now let's go grab a link. Nope, one more corridor. There we go. Hopefully I'm on the right side. Yes I am. Perfect. Alright, that was a pretty quick and easy phase 2. But we're about to get to my favorite part of the operation, which is decoding the Thargoid Link audio signals. And there is, the last set of signals. And I'm only going to take the Thargoid Link back at this point. I'm actually going to leave the probe and the sensor behind because I don't need them beyond this point. There's a tiny little lip in the terrain and it threw my SRV up into the air. And because SRVs can't yaw, I go flying into a wall. Alright, catch you later, Dr. Terminus. Thanks for stopping by. No interceptor trigger this time. Oh well, maybe we'll get it next week. we are going to go into Super Cruise, and we are going to get about half a light second away from the planet. Or from the binary cluster.
4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
So let's go do that. Let me make sure all of my things are loaded. And so yeah, we're gonna keep going up until we're completely away from the planet. Is it me? Is it me, or is the galactic core a little brighter than usual today? Maybe it's the whole Thanksgiving mentality. I don't know. It is the holiday season, as they say. Excuse me. A USS. Well, not on my to-pick-up list. So, at this point, we are now no longer in the vicinity of the binary pair of planets, so we're going to go right ahead and drop out right here. And we're nice and far out in the Mel 22 sector, too, so the nice thing about this location is pirates won't bother us. So, first order of business is to drop a Thargoid Link. I am ascending at a rate of roughly 35 meters per second in order to offset the momentum generated by jettisoning cargo. Usually it works, sometimes it's a little off. As you can see, the Link is still drifting just a smidge to the left. So, I'm going to give it a nice little tap.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
To stop it. Like so. Excuse me? My thrusters are supposed to be on priority 3, you idiot.
Thrusters online.
Sometimes thrusters can automatically be reset to priority 1. It's a little stupid, but that's something that can happen. So what's going to happen, folks, is I'm actually going to turn volume on OBS, the PC volume on OBS to maximum. I'm going to lower some of the musical settings. Sound effects are maxed out. So, I'm going to get into a very specific position in front of the Thargoid Link, and I'm going to play down the unknown signal we picked up, the first unknown signal on this list. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut up and let you guys enjoy the signal and its response. I may have to play it twice depending on if I'm in an optimal position or not, but here we go.
Thrusters offline. Power plant capacity exceeded. Thrusters online. Thrusters offline. Power plant capacity exceeded.
Okay. So, that was our first set of signals. So, let's go ahead and pick up this link before we lose it. And I'm gonna shut everything off a bit, so...
Power plant capacity exceeded.
Excuse me.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Once Victor's done babbling, I am now going to show you basically the purpose of basically what we just listened for right now. So, the link chirped out a series of high and low buzzes and chirps with an occasional dolphin chirp. What the link did is transmit 3 pairs of binary numbers, and the dolphin chirp acts as a sort of separator in between them. So, our first order of business is we're going to translate these highs and low chirps into their binary and decimal equivalents. So we got a calculator. We're going to go into programmer mode, select the binary option. Starting with this first number, we have highs are zeros, lows are ones. So we want to translate that to a 001 001. That is a decimal value of 73. And the separator acts as a dividing sign. And the last numbers are low, 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 high, low, high, high. 500. Next set of numbers is... The other pairs are pretty short, actually. 1, 0, 0, 1, low, high, high, low, high, low. 37. And that is over 011, 111, 010, 250. Last set of numbers is a 110001, and that is a 49 over low, low, high, high, low, high, 50. Let me just double check that first one. 110001. Yeah, 49 over 50. So, let's translate those numbers into a singular decimal value. So 73 over 500, we get 0.146. Whoops. I do that every time. 37 over 250 is 0.148. And 49 over 50, this is going to be very close to 1 without being 1. Let's see, that is going to be 0.980. So what we have here, we can find Outcome Prodigy. I can actually probably figure that out. But that is a story for another time. In the meantime, so these numbers that we've found here are essentially distance figures, but there's 2 problems. As of now, we don't know A, what they're distance figures to or from, and B, they're in Thargoid units. I'm going to start by telling you what the numbers actually do represent, and that is with the courtesy of this image right here. So, if you play down an audio signal in front of the Thargoid Link, or in front of the Thargoid Link, or if you use a recording software to record the sound effect, if you look at the audio as a spectrogram under certain settings, you can actually see what the sound looks like. And what you see is this chirping. And that is translated to this image right here. So that's what the sound looks like. So, what we have here in the center, we have these 3 numbers that act as binary. So we have a high, high, low, a high, low, high, and a high, low, low. So those are 1, 2, and 3 in binary. On the left, we have the system of Merope near the first number. And Merope is designated by the Sun, the asteroid belt, gas giant 4 moons, gas giant 4 moons, 2 gas giants 3 moons, 2 gas giants 3 moons. I think there's a sun in one of these, but that's besides the point. Or a star, rather. But Merope basically looks like this, both in the galaxy map and in the actual, in this image. So that's how we know this is Merope. On the top, we have the originating system where the signal is coming out of, or where the signal is coming out of that eagle eye picked up. And the target system, where that target system is where the signal is pointing to, as noted by the hollow and solid dots on the compass, similar to our own compasses. So the target system transmits something to the Thargoid structure, which Eagle Eye then picks up. The third system on the right here is what we think Col 70 FY-NC21-3 is going to look like. But we can't get in there yet. It's still permit locked, even in the Chapter 4 Beyond beta. So with these three numbers, we now know that the first number is a distance figure from the target system to Merope. The second distance is from the target system to the Thargoid structure, in this case, Mel 22 sector ZU-P C5-1. In fact, I'm actually going to copy that because I need to copy and paste some things. Wrong window. And the third number is the distance from the target to Col 70. Now, we know what these distance figures represent, but we need to still translate them into human light years. And how we do that is up here. With the help of the Thargoid probe, it was discovered that a Thargoid unit is the equivalent of 871.018 light years. And the reason we know this is because a Thargoid probe chirps out five different sets of numbers when it's orbiting a planet. The fifth number it chirps out is the distance to Col 70 sector FY-NC21-3. In the Merope system, the binary chirp it gives for that Col 70 distance is a 001. It's a high, high, low. So at the Merope system, one Thargoid unit is the number of units the probe chirps, and that is 871.018 light years from Col 70. So we have our translation into human light years, and we now know what the numbers represent. So let's go back to our numbers right here and find out what their light year equivalent is. So I'm going to take the number 871.018 and store that into memory. That way we can recall it nice and quickly. Multiply that by 0.146, and our first distance is 127.17 light years from Merope. And it's not exactly, it's not an exact estimation of how far out it is, but it's relatively close. And the second number is 128.91 light years from the structure. And the last one, the Col 70 number, is 0.980 times this. 853.60 light years from Col 70. So, now, one major problem is that this is actually really tough to triangulate by hand. So we're going to kind of cheat a little bit. Well, cheat in a relative term. So what I have here is a decoder, and I believe you should be able to... Yeah, you should be able to see the link on the top of your screen. Hopefully it's not obstructed by the PA logo. I don't think it should be. No, it's not. So you can go ahead and just take a look at that for a bit. I will also link it in my chat right here, so that way you guys can see it on the playback. And what I've done is I've put in the highs and low chirps into the decoded section here. I have to enter the origin system real quick. So in this case, it's Mel 22. Do I actually have that logged? I don't think so. So I have to actually make this all lowercase, otherwise the triangulator won't work. And I actually want to copy that into this one as well. So what this does is this will triangulate the pic for me. The numbers for me. So what I'm going to do is I've entered the numbers already. And you can do H's and L's, or you can do zeros and ones. It does not matter. You can hit search, and we get a system value of HIP1, or a system designation, rather, of HIP14702. This is the best triangulation the system can come up with an average error value of 0.034%. Now, typically, error values below 0.034% 0.04% are correct, but to explain how this works. So what this system does is it looks up the galactic coordinates of your origin system, and it takes the known galactic coordinates of Merope and Col 70, takes the numbers that you've put in with the binary code, and tries to find the intersection point generated by 3 spheres, generated by those 3 sets of coordinates and distance figures. When 3 spheres overlap, they can only intersect at 2 possible locations. So, as long as one sphere doesn't completely envelop another, you should be able to completely, to get 2 intersect points. And the triangulator gave us a system of HIP 14702, which is down here, and apparently I have been there before. Now, last week, the system gave us, the Eagle Eye Links gave us 3 inhabited systems, which they always do as of the middle of October, and 3 Thargoid structures. I'm curious to know if this is a Thargoid structure or not, because it's out right in the middle of nowhere. Because the Pleiades is all the way down here, and HIP 14702 is all the way down here. So I'm curious to know if this is a Thargoid structure. I will verify this using the canon sheet later. But in the meantime, our next order of business is to decode the remaining signals. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly copy and paste the remaining system names into the decoder. Make sure they're all lowercase. Just do a quick bit of maintenance. And the reason I'm doing this is because I need to rapid fire all of the, I want to rapid fire the remaining 5 link signals and put them, so I want the decoder to be ready to receive them all immediately. So, with that said, let's go ahead and turn things back on.
Cargo scoop deployed.
We will jettison another Thargoid Link. Get set up properly.
Cargo scoop retracted.
I'm going to play down signal 1 immediately in front of this Thargoid Link, so that way I can get into an optimal position. It's going to be kind of tough because the link is still drifting.
Thrusters offline. Power plant capacity exceeded.
Now, another really weird property of this is you actually can't hear the chirping unless you're targeting the Thargoid Link.
Thrusters online.
So I'm going to take advantage of this time now to get into optimal position while the Link chirps at me.
Thrusters offline. Power plant
Alright, that's as good as
capacity
it's going to
exceeded.
get. So let's go ahead and play down signal 2. I'll scoot the ship up just a little. There we go.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
So this is the second
Thrusters
signal, so I'm going to
offline.
write this one down in the decoder on camera, so that way you guys can see what I am listening for. Hopefully I'm in optimal position already. If not, we'll figure it out as we go. Now, there is a way. Now, there is a way I can kind of tell where the signals are going to point to based on where the first low number in each binary code is. For example, this one I can tell already is closer to the bubble because from the right side, this first one is the 10th digit, and this first one is the 10th digit as well. So the numbers are going to be more like a half or something like that. This one's going to be towards the Pleiades. because the first Merope digit was the 5th. And the second was the 7th. Alright, that was signal 3. This is signal 4. Well, Nemix, there are distinct hums in the low chirps that I can piece together. On top of that, some of the chirps have certain... some of the chirp clusters have certain inflections, if you will, that I can pick up really easily. Especially the high, low, low. This is going to be towards the bubble. Sorry, just running some hotfixes there. The second sets of digits are also pretty easy for me to remember because they're pretty consistent. Like, I always know that low, 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 followed by lows after that is low, low, high, high, typically. Alright, this is signal 5. That's going to definitely be Pleiades. And now signal 6. Whoops. Alright, we'll see how we're doing on link health. I actually don't have any collector limpets in the cargo bay right now, so I'm gonna have to pick this link up quick. 20%, we're fine. And this is going to be towards the bubble. Quick and easy. Okay, that's all of them.
Thrusters online. Cargo scoop deployed.
Right then.
Retracted.
Let's go and triangulate a bit, shall we?
Exceeded.
Whoops. Alright, so this is the next number we got. So this is the second system. Actually, you know what? Before I forget, let me log HIP 14702 into my Word document. So that is where signal 1 is taking us. Signal 2 points to LHS 2524. Average error 0.037. So it's close to the safe zone, but still within it. Let's take a look at what's there. Now, I also would like to point out that once again, 2 systems have burned this week. We lost LHS 3499, and we lost... is it 3499? Yes, we lost HR 3499, and we lost another system. I'm just trying to remember which one. Here it is. And we lost LHS 6187. So 2 more stations have burned this week. In the meantime, what is the story with LHS 2524? This is a federal system with an ammonia world, at the very least, and a starport, Haberland Station. And it's 300,000 light seconds away from the main star. Oh boy. Well, it is a safe assumption, however, that this triangulation is correct, so we will put that into our document. And we will triangulate signal 3. Signal 3 points to HIP 19026, average error 0.026. Let's look that up. Again, out in the middle of nowhere, so I don't think this is an INRA base. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is pointing us to Thargoid structures again. Because if there were Thargoid structures, they would be like here or here. For example, I've marked this planet for whatever reason. So it's a fairly safe assumption that this may be a Thargoid structure. So we are going to mark HIP 19026. And the next target in bubble is the Don Hopi system. This is a previous target. Don Hopi was targeted once before. Interestingly, it is already in a repair state. That's not creepy at all. What other systems did the thing give me? I doubt that the other set of galactic coordinates is going to have anything, because the other set of galactic coordinates is like, what, minus 300? Minus 300. Where does that fall? That falls here. Minus 300 by minus 335 by minus 473. Yeah, there's nothing here. So it's a safe bet that Don Hopi is what it's targeting. Which is interesting because, again, Don Hopi is a previous target that is still in the repair state. This is the first time I've seen that. But it is worth checking out. The average error, as mentioned previously, is still within the safe levels. So we can check it out anyway. Nope, wrong window. Signal 5. Now this one is interesting because the Merope number is 3 over 1, 3, 6, 12, 25, 50. So 3 over 50. That is a really low Merope number. Pleiades sector JM-WD1-52. Which is a little closer to the the main Pleiades area, but not by much. I think JMW is going to be our first stop. Copy that, put it into the chart. And lastly, the last in-bubble target is the Jambin system. This is a new one, but this has a fairly high average error. It's still the closest one we're getting, and yeah, the numbers you can see are a little bit off, but it doesn't seem like the system gives us any better options. So let's look up the Jambin system. Now, I have a backup plan if I can't find the correct system. But this is an ammonia world with a starport next to it, so this is promising. So I think we have all of our targets. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go exploring. Our first destination will be, as mentioned previously, Pleiades sector JM-WD1-52. Actually, no, it's not. It's going to be HIP 14702, because I think HIP 14702 is below me. Yeah, it's right over here. So we're going to go to HIP 14702 first.
Thrusters online. Frameshift drive charging.
Website real quick just to verify if there are any structures in the systems we're heading to. If the link is already pointing to those structures, then I'm going to make a safe assumption that that is what the link is targeting. Hello, data unavailable. Welcome to the stream, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well if you celebrate it. Happy Thanksgiving to the rest of you as well.
Fuel scooping.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me, Namix, to turn that down. There we go. That should be a lot better.
Drive charging.
We can actually also turn music back up, since we no longer are listening for sound. It's a little too high.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, the Diamondback's engines are very loud. So my apologies to that.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So now we're on phase 4 of the
Fuel scooping.
phase 4 of the operation, which is to find out what all the Thargoid Link signals are pointing to. And let me look up HIP 14702 on the Canon site. HIP 14702. And yes, indeed, it is a system with a known Thargoid structure. It is Thargoid Structure 20 on Planet 1C. So we're going to head towards Planet 1C and drop a link there and see if it does indeed point to the Thargoid structure. We're not going to go to the structure and actually do the codes, because we tried that last week, and the codes were no different than their most recent usage, if it was for Eagle Eye, for example. 1C should be over here somewhere. There it is. So we're going to head in the general direction of 1C, and then we're going to drop the link and play down signal 1 in front of it, and see if it works out. I'm actually just going to go do something real quick, folks. Get a blanket or something, because it's a little cold in here. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Not a moment too soon, it looks like, either. Now, like I said, I'm not going to visit the Thargoid structure if it actually is there. I'm just going to, what's that? Oh, that's just a USS. I'm not actually going to visit the structure. I'm just going to verify that the link is pointing towards the planet. In which case, it's a safe assumption it's targeting the Thargoid structure if last week is anything to go by. Oops. We can get a little closer. I'm also going to go ahead and synthesize some collector limpets really fast. I have a full complement of iron and nickel, so I can do this without issue. I don't have a full complement of iron and nickel in the beta server. I'm actually about to run out in the beta server. So we're going to get to 200 kilometers per second and drop. And now we are going to go ahead and drop a Thargoid Link. And play down signal 1 in front of the Thargoid Link. And if we enter the correct system, which we should have, the link... Sorry, my flying is really sloppy. The link will turn into a laser pointer. I'm accelerating too fast is the problem. So the link is now pointing down towards the planet somewhere. So you can tell that the planet is in fact correct. And we can't see the Thargoid structure from back here, probably because it's on the other side of the planet. But it's a safe assumption that it is pointing at the Thargoid structure. Again, we just can't see it because we're on the wrong side of the planet. What is the planetary coordinates of the -8 by -114? So yeah, it's on the other side of the planet because we're at -16 by +54. So yeah, other side of the planet. So it is a safe bet that it is in fact targeting Thargoid Structure 20.
Programming limpet drone. Cargo skip deployed.
Let me just have a collector limpet go and pick this thing up for me.
Collector limpet expired.
And so let's log that on our thing. HIP 14702. Thargoid Structure 20. And our next stop is going to be Pleiades Sector JM-W D1-52. Which is right around the corner. Whoops. Sorry, that was the timer for when I was assuming I was going to start my Eagle Eye stuff at 9. But no, I decided to start at 7 because I was up a little earlier today.
Shift drive charging.
Yeah, it's a safe assumption that it's pointing to the Thargoid structure. Because again, the longitude coordinates were almost the complete opposite of the planet to where I was. So it's a safe, and the link was almost pointing directly at the planet as well. So a rough, almost a 180-degree change indicates it's most definitely the structure.
Fuel scooping.
So our next stop is Pleiades, this one right here. Luckily, it's only 2 jumps out. Nice quick trip. Let me look that one up and see if it's got a known structure. Yes, it does. It is Thargoid, the location of Thargoid Structure 188 on Planet 2A. Let's go ahead and find that while we're gassing up real quick. It is right here.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
So it looks like the Thargoids are indeed repeating the pattern from last week where they target 3 Thargoid structures followed by 3 starports. Although I'm very interested to see what happens when we get to Don Hopi. Because, again, Don Hopi was a previous target. At least the starport was. So I'm curious to see if they're going to try and attack it again. In fact, I'm actually going to go into the Eagle Eye historical logs and find out when, in fact, that attack took place. Let's see. Don Hopi was attacked on August 2nd. So it was attacked a few months ago. Oops. About to loop of shame. Let's not do that. We can try and fix this with a gravitic break or 2. It's definitely doable, but it's not going to be an easy one. Actually, yeah, it's easy. Easy gravitic break. We can fix this. And now we're already back at optimal speed. Seven, 6, good. Can I drop out now? No, I gotta wait because I'm already too close to a planet. Drop out here. And we're gonna place signal 5? Yeah, 5. I hope it was 5. It should be 5. I should be far enough away from the planet to not be influenced by gravity either. Let's see. And it is in fact pointing towards the planet. It's probably pointing at the Thargoid structure. So it is right there-ish. We'll take a quick trip down there in Super Cruise just to see if we can spot the pinwheel.
Cargo scoop deployed. Frameshift drive charging.
And what are the coordinates?
Ready to engage. 3, 2.
Minus 32 by minus 65. Let's mark those. Now, is it on this side of the planet? No, it is not.
Orbital flight.
So if we keep going this way... we should see minus 32 by minus 65 at roughly the same time. And it looks like we do. We should be able to see the Thargoid structure from up here, if we drop a link again and verify. Oh, he did Namix, okay. Well, unfortunately, the link is kind of spazzing out because it's currently pointing perpendicular to the target. Oh, no, it's not. It's sorting itself out now. So, in theory, whatever we're looking for should be almost directly below us, and lo and behold, there it is. It's very faint, but you can see it right on the center of your screen. There is a Thargoid structure directly below me. And that is, in fact, what the link is targeting.
Programming limpet drone.
So, yep, it is, in fact, targeting Thargoid Structure 188.
Limpet drone error. Deploy cargo hatch.
And our final in Pleiades destination is the HIP 19026 system, which is right here. Again, another bit of a trek.
Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging.
Yep, the green glow. Like I said, it's very faint, but it is there. And I am, again, very curious to know why the Thargoids are interested in their own structures again, because those structures are A, known, B, not being used in the next Eagle Eye week based on last week's indication, and C, we already know they're there, so... they could be active or inactive. I'm actually going to take another quick look at that on the thing. Okay, so that is a So that is an active, so Thargoid Structure 188 is active. And Thargoid Structure 20
Fuel scoop disengaged.
was inactive. Just make a note of that real quick.
Frameshift drive charging.
Oh, we got somebody chasing me for my cargo. It's alright, he's not going to get to me in time. Now, is there a Thargoid structure at HIP 19026? Yes, there is. It is Thargoid Structure 1. The first one that was ever discovered. Or at least the first one that was ever logged. And this one I know for a fact is inactive. Verifying that there's no other pirates on my tail. There are not. Excellent. Now, here's what I'm going to do for this one. I'm just going to point generally in the vicinity of B1C and just see if the link targets it, because I don't want to travel 31,000 light seconds to figure this out. I am going to also, however, take a minute to scoop up real quick, because I'm a little lower on fuel than I'd like to be before heading back into the bubble from the Pleiades. So I'm just going to scoop up for a hot minute here while we make our way to B1C. Not from me, Namix. I've never been much of a theorist or a lore master. That's something that Malik would probably be the better person to talk about with, because he always likes to go into that stuff. Although, what's even more interesting is when the Thargoids are targeting a starport. Because when Thargoids target a starport, they're targeting the transmitter that is outside the starport, but that's a human device. So, that human device is broadcasting a signal that's being picked up by the Thargoid structures. That in turn, Eagle Eye targets the structures. So it's really weird how the Thargoids are targeting a human structure, or a human signal, with a human signal, but that structure is being targeted by a human-based satellite, spy satellite. It's really weird. So I will bring that little bit of technobabble in there for you. So signal 3 should be the one we seek here. This one should point us, eventually, to planet B1C. If it points in the general direction, I'm just going to assume that's where the structure is. I don't like the fact that it's perpendicular right now, though. Yeah, you can see again, the link sometimes needs to be nagged a little bit. So I will now attempt to nag it. Oh, never mind, it just sorted itself out. It knew what I was planning on doing. I do actually really not like it when the links do that, because it really just throws things off. But yeah, it is pointing at B1C. It's a safe assumption that that's pointing at the Thargoid structure, because there's nothing else over there.
Cargo scoop deployed. Target destroyed.
Oops.
Programming link.
Well, might as well get the materials. And that's why you make sure you have spare links in your cargo hold.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Alright, so HIP 19026 is Thargoid Structure 1. Our next stop is going to be the LHS 2524 system. Which is all the way back there, but I may get a speed boost from the Pleiades neutron star. Where's the Pleiades neutron star? The Pleiades neutron star, yeah, it's in the way, so we're gonna head to the Pleiades neutron star at 98K Tori.
Frameshift drive charging.
That went well. Exactly. Two jumps. Can we skip one of those? How long is that? 67? Oh yeah, we can totally skip that with a G1. That's an easy skip.
Frameshift drive charging.
And here's 98K Tori B. That is our neutron star. It's a nice little shortcut to get back to the bubble from the Pleiades quickly. It's not good for getting from the bubble to the Pleiades, though. For that, I recommend, if you're on the right side of the bubble, using Jackson's Lighthouse. Because that's really the only neutron star you can really rely upon in the bubble. Excuse me? The auto-yawing on the HOTUS is actually really messing up with my UI, unfortunately. I think we can go... Can we get all the way up here? No, we cannot. We can only go... we have to go here. Like so.
Frameshift drive charging.
And then we'll be only 2 jumps out from the target. Sorry, I'm just copying and pasting some stuff into the Canon Discord real quick.
Disengaged. Frameshift drive charging.
I'm not comfortable boosting off of that right now. We're going to skip that with a G2 injection, since it's already preloaded into the route. I'm just not going to bother. That star is a little too dim for my liking.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, here we are. Now, this is unfortunately where the system is, the target is miles away from the planet, the star rather, so I may not actually travel directly to the market, just because Haberland Station is a little bit on the far side.
Disengaged.
Let's drop down a little bit first, and then we'll drop a link. Can you slow down a bit faster? There we go. Nope. Unfortunately, I don't think Galnet's been updated since, this is Signal 2, right? Yes. Ah! Just bumped into the link. Did not mean to do that. Hopefully that doesn't screw it up. Okay, good. It sorted itself out. And yeah, it does appear to be pointing towards Haberland Station. It's yawing left now, lining itself up, and yep, it's pointing at Haberland Station. Is it? Hold on. Let me just double check. It might be off a little to the left or right, but no, it looks like it's focusing on Haberland Station now. So yeah, it's that's going to Haberland Station. Nah, I'm not going to make the trek over there, because the other way I can tell it's pointing at the station is because this system not only has Haberland Station in it, but it has the ammonia world in it up here on A6. Every starport attack since Eagle Eye has been conceived has always been focused on a system with an ammonia world and a starport. So this is pretty much a guarantee, especially since the link pointed, it went into laser pointer mode here. That is a guarantee that this port is the target. So with that said, I'm going to make a note of that. Haberland Station, Coriolis Starport. Alright, our next stop is going to be the Don Hopi system. And again, a reminder to the audience, this station that we may be heading to now is a previous target. A previous successful target, I might add. Find any Thargoid bacon yet? No, we have not. And now you've just made me hungry. Thanks, Comprodigy.
Fuel scooping.
Nah, I'll eat something after the stream, probably. I'm not going to eat too much, though, because I want to make sure I can enjoy my Thanksgiving turkey. I'll be visiting some family later this afternoon for Thanksgiving. So my plan is to wrap up Eagle Eye stuff, go take a quick nap, and then go get set to go to Thanksgiving.
2.
Alright folks, welcome back to the Don Hopi system. We're gonna take course towards, if we could find it, Plucker Enterprise.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scoop disengaged.
And while we're at it, let's go ahead and plot course to the Jambin system, because that's our last target for the day. 2 jumps out, nice and close. You can see there's a bit of a triangular pattern to the attacks this week. Target 1 there, target 2 here, target 3 here. I probably should have actually dropped out earlier to point the link. Oops. No big deal.
Recon Mike Delta Zero, this is Thargoid. We require authorization for access to the docking bay.
Now we're going to find out if the link is still pointing to the transmitter. Actually, we're already past top of the hour, so I can't check this. Not for a while, but I actually do want to know if the transmitter says anything different since this is a second attempt target. So the link is actually pointing this way, which means the transmitter is probably in this direction too.
Cargo scoop deployed. Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3,
So we are going to travel
1. Engage.
about a megameter away from Plucker Enterprise. And we're going to drop out right here. Oops. I apparently got thrown way further off than planned. But yep, there's the transmitter. It's still there.
Frameshift drive charging.
And I'm actually, I don't need to refuel at Plucker Enterprise. Wait. There are 2 transmitters. So yeah, it is a repeating target. I'm actually going to take a screen cap of this and post it to the Canon Discord. So give me a second while I stabilize the ship long enough to get a screen cap of this. Set delay to 1 second. Open up the left panel. And make the snip. Save as 2 transmitters. So yeah, interestingly, there are 2 transmitters at Plucker Enterprise. So let me just get the picture put in. Hopefully the file's not too big. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's start making our way to the Jambin system.
Frameshift drive charging.
And it looks like we're going to get there without even having to burn all our fuel. And yeah, Prodigy, I am very curious to know the day when Eagle Eye will point... Well, all six stations will point to a... all 6 links are going to point to stations. The only other time we've had days where it's been, like, remotely interesting, where it was the Dekiat invasion and the Gnosis assault. Those are the only 2 times where the link signals got really clustered. And I'm going to skip this neutron jump. Ooh, there's a science installation here. That's cute. Too bad we don't need it. You can just go straight to the Jambin system.
Frameshift drive charging.
And I'm going to be doing that on Vapors. But that's okay, we have a fuel scoop.
2.
So, the area of interest is going to be Chiang Prospect here.
Disengaged.
We should actually be able to get a good view of it now. So we'll drop a link and verify. And this is signal 6. I broke out of this signal too early. Whoopsie. You know, Prodigy, I'm not gonna lie, I actually hope that's the case, because I like doing the signal translations every Thursday, so... And yes, it is true, the link is pointing at Chiang Prospect. I think it is, at least. Yeah, it's fixing itself now. It's at it's pointing at Chiang Prospect.
Frameshift
No,
drive
wrong button.
charging. Cargo scoop deployed. Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging. 4.
So let's go to Chiang Prospect, refuel up, and rest up. So yeah, it looks like another one of our main cannons, the main cannon scientists, have actually just finished up his Eagle Eye report too, and we're going to be doing the same right about now too, so that actually works out. So let me write down the systems. So Plucker, Enterprise. That's a Coriolis, right? Hold on. Yeah, it's a Coriolis. Coriolis, starport, in repair state. And Jambin is going to be Chiang Prospect, which is also a Coriolis starport. Ah, it's one of these starports.
Link on Mike Delta 0. Please comply.
So it looks like it's 2 federal starports and, or no, 1 federal, 1 alliance, and 1 independent starport today. Creepy. Is that what they're called? Noob hammers. Interesting. Never heard of it. I never heard it put that way. But ladies and gentlemen, we have concluded our Eagle Eye analysis for this week. So, how things ended up happening is that Eagle Eye 1, the first signal pointed us to HIP 14702, which is the location of Thargoid Structure 20. Second signal pointed us to LHS 2524, towards Haberland Station, which is the Coriolis starport all the way near the B star, so guess what? That station is probably gonna burn. Just because, do you honestly think people are gonna go all the way down there to rescue that station? So I'm a little bit concerned about that one. Next destination was HIP 19026. That is where the first Eagle, that's where Eagle Eye 2 took us. And that led to Thargoid Structure 1. The second signal from that one is the most interesting. That led to the Don Hopi system, which is to Plucker Enterprise, a previous target, a previous successful target of a Thargoid attack. And it's still in a repair state from before. Final 2 signals from Eagle Eye 3 sent us to Pleiades Sector JM-W, D1-52, which was to the location of Thargoid Structure 188. And the final target was the Jambin system, which is where we are right now, and that pointed us to Chiang Prospect. So that, ladies and gentlemen, are your Eagle Eye notes for the week of November 22nd, 3304/2018.